He was the founder Nasdaq Stock Exchange.
He was the chairman of Nasdaq Stock Exchange.
Bernard Madoff was running Ponzi scheme from his office.
Bernard Madoff has been arrested from his home by the FBI.
Have you ever thought about how relaxed and confident you feel when you entrust your life savings to someone? Imagine you've given your hard-earned money to Bernard Madoff. Every month, you receive a statement showing that your investment is growing effortlessly. Your retirement plan is all set, relaxing on beaches, going on cruises, dining at fancy European restaurants. And then one day, you get a phone call that shakes your world, as if you had invested your money in a magic show. Cheryl's story is just one example. Thousands of lives were turned upside down in a moment. But where did it all begin? Let's take a look at Bernard Madoff's early life. Bernard Madoff was born in 1938 into a middle-class Jewish family. His father was a plumber, and Madoff took on small jobs to earn money for college. Through hard work and dedication, he built his life. In 1960, Madoff started his investment firm with just $5,000. In the early days, his firm was small, but over time, Madoff carved out a place in Wall Street's elite circle. His firm became so successful that people began to see his investment strategies as magical. By the 1980s, Madoff had co-founded Nasdaq and even served as its chairman. This success left people impressed, and Madoff built a reputation that people trusted blindly. Madoff's rise was so rapid that people began to trust him blindly. His investment firm's performance was so impressive that people thought, "This is the best. Investing with him will double our money." As the business grew, Bernard Madoff's family also became involved in his success. They started living a luxurious lifestyle, and his two sons, Mark and Andrew Madoff, joined the business. From the outside, the family appeared united and successful. In the late 1980s, Bernard Madoff devised a plan that took financial fraud to new heights. Madoff's Ponzi scheme was a fraud that surprised everyone. New investors' money was used to pay returns to old investors. Everything was designed to create a perfect illusion. On paper, everything looked perfect, but in reality, it was all a big joke. To ensure the success of the Ponzi scheme, it was essential to attract wealthy and influential clients. Madoff, a rich and influential Jew who had been the chairman of Nasdaq, had easy access to America's elite and super-rich class, so his early clients were mainly wealthy individuals from the Jewish community. Early investors included celebrities, politicians, and financial institutions. These investors became the biggest advertisement for the scheme, helping to bring in new money. Everything seemed so perfect at Madoff's firm that no one suspected anything. Madoff's office was located on the 17th floor of a tall building in Manhattan. It looked like a typical investment firm's office. On the same floor, his sons Mark and Andrew also had their offices. Client meetings and regular business dealings took place on this floor. But the 19th floor of the same building was the epicenter of the scam, where the entire operation was run. Only a select few employees were allowed on this floor, while the rest were strictly prohibited under the guise of security. Even his sons were unaware of what was happening on the 19th floor. On this floor, false financial statements were carefully prepared every month and sent to clients. Madoff sent his clients monthly financial statements showing consistently high returns. These statements were prepared by observing the stock market's movements a day before, making it easy to show profits. These statements were so convincing that no one suspected anything. Investors believed they were making actual profits and growing their wealth, thinking Bernie was a magician, even though there were no real investments, just new clients' money being distributed to old clients. Harry Markopolos, a financial analyst, he was the first who detected Madoff's Ponzi scheme. Markopolos was suspicious from the start, so he gathered information from all the brokers in New York to see which broker was executing these transactions. But after obtaining information from all the brokers, he discovered that Bernie Madoff's investment firm didn't have an account with any broker. If there's no account, how can there be any transactions? In 1999, he submitted detailed reports to the SEC. The reports made everything clear, but the SEC ignored them. It was like spotting an iceberg in the Titanic's path and choosing to ignore it. Markopolos repeatedly alerted the SEC. His reports contained clear indicators that Madoff's return strategy was unrealistic. But the SEC dismissed these reports. They didn't conduct a deep audit. They saw that there were transactions, there were statements, and that was enough for them. And the biggest reason for their inaction: if Madoff says it, it must be true. After the SEC gave Madoff a clean chit, people's trust in him only grew. They thought, now that the SEC has investigated, everything must be transparent. People started investing with Madoff in droves. Those who were previously reluctant also invested, and those who were already investors quadrupled their investments. With the influx of new clients and blind money, it became very easy for Madoff to keep his Ponzi scheme running. This continued for several years. Madoff had become a superstar. People believed that no better investment firm existed in the entire US, with such a consistent record over so many years. So they continued to invest more money. The 2008 financial crisis exposed Madoff's Ponzi scheme. After the collapse of Lehman Brothers Bank in 2008, there was a liquidity crunch in the market. At that time, everyone needed cash immediately. Some had orders to fulfill, others needed to pay salaries. Investors were forced to start demanding their invested money back, because to keep a Ponzi scheme running, you need a constant stream of new clients. But when there's no money in the market and banks are collapsing, where will the new clients come from? When investors started asking for their money back, Madoff had nothing to give.
If you're looking to start investing or want to make your current investments work harder for you, Scalable Capital could be the perfect app for you. Security is a huge deal when it comes to investing, and Scalable Capital takes it seriously. Your investments are protected, and they use advanced security measures to ensure your data and money are safe. And for those of you worried about security, they're fully regulated and compliant with European financial standards. Opening an account is completely free. Scalable Capital also offers personalized investment plans tailored to your risk level, and with no hidden fees, what you see is what you get. Plus, your investments are in safe hands. Security is certified according to ISO 27001, so you can invest with peace of mind. If you're ready to start or optimize your investments, Scalable Capital could be just what you need. I'll drop a link in the description where you can check it out and sign up. Now back to the story.
On December 10, 2008, Madoff confessed to his sons. He revealed that everything was a massive fraud. He told them the entire truth about the 19th floor. He explained how it was a Ponzi scheme. The next day, his own son informed the FBI, and on December 11, 2008, the FBI arrested Madoff. It was like a real-life thriller. After Madoff's arrest, his family also had to face public scrutiny and media attention. Their lives were suddenly destroyed like a plot twist in a movie. His sons, Mark and Andrew, kept insisting that they knew nothing about the Ponzi scheme, that they had no idea what was happening on the 19th floor, how the false statements were prepared, or how the Ponzi scheme was operating, but no one believed them. And the investors' questions continued to haunt them. After Madoff's arrest, his family was left with tragedies. What happened to Mark and Andrew was truly tragic. They had no answers to the investors' questions. The investors, whose life savings had vanished, couldn't believe that the sons, working in the same office, had no idea about the Ponzi scheme. As a result, just 2 years after the arrest, in 2010, Mark ended his life by suicide, and Andrew passed away from cancer in 2014. After Madoff's arrest, legal proceedings began. The SEC and other regulatory bodies announced reforms. This scandal became a wake-up call for financial regulations. But in developing countries, even after such incidents, schemes like Double Shah, OneCoin, and Sahara continue to operate. Because every 10 to 15 years, a new generation comes of age, eager to get rich quickly, with no knowledge of history. Madoff's case highlighted the importance of transparency and accountability in the financial industry. New laws and regulations are now giving investor protection a new face. It's crucial to keep an eye on investments. Remember, quick profit never exists. Madoff's prison life was also quite challenging. On April 14, 2021, Madoff died at the age of 82. His journey from a successful financier to a convicted felon ended in tragedy. The magician of Wall Street became to the monster of Wall Street. The 2008 Ponzi scheme is a story of greed, deception, and the far-reaching consequences of fraud. It's a cautionary tale that reminds us of the importance of transparency, accountability, and the high price of dishonesty.
We entrusted our life savings to Bernie. His reputation was so strong that we believed he would secure our future. But one day, everything vanished in an instant, as if the money had evaporated into thin air.
Let's never forget the lessons learned from this dark chapter in financial history. It shows us all how dangerous greed and deception can be.